Moving to one of your other elements of secret sauce, which is creative, right? That breaks through.
The
On
most
mo-
undervalued but most powerful
yeah.
area.
And I agree 100%. It's almost a renaissance of creative, driven by auction-based media. Because if you can't afford the media because your creative sucks, then you're out of the game, right? So, um, but as it relates to mobile devices, that there are all sorts of people that use their mobile devices at different levels. Some people are on them 24 hours a day. Other people just hop in and out, and so you'll within certain segments of your audience, you may start to see creative burnout, but you may not see it across the entire campaign. So, how do you guys recommend that people think about creative burnout? Like, should they always be playing king of the hill, where I just always have my next creative queued up, ready to try to outperform my last creative?
I mean, I think first off, the mistake that we make, and you see it on TV, is you run the same ad over and over. I do think there's value to frequency. A very famous creative ad exec said, if you don't put something in front of somebody at least 3 times, it doesn't sink in. It doesn't sink into the subconscious. So you got to get a certain level of frequency in front of consumers at least 3 times for them to take any notice at all. But that being said, there's certain ads that you see around the Olympics. If you remember, there was like 5 or 6 key sponsors where you're like, oh my God, if I see this ad again, I'm going to kill myself. So I do think that a diversity of similar messaging for the same product, but done differently across different creatives, so you're getting at it from different angles, is very, very powerful. And I think that digital really allows you to do that. It allows you to follow up a few times with the same consumer, especially on a first party basis, based on the publisher, where you can actually have some kind of sequential messaging around the same product, but you do so where you're giving something that is slightly new, slightly different to that same consumer over and over again, so that they're not bored, they see something new and they don't get exhausted from the same, recurring message. So from my perspective, building a few different creatives, A/B testing them, and saying, listen, I'm going to frequency cap the creatives at a certain number, but then I want to keep on hitting them so that they can actually convert. So I've got to sort of, diversify or alter the messaging between a few different creatives so that it's different at least once out of every 3 or 4 times. I think is very powerful. And I don't know that we're doing that as an industry well today, but I certainly think the capabilities are there to do it well. And it's certainly something that we're suggesting is very powerful. But if you have the right scale of budget and you sort of know where you want to show up, having that diversity of creative and some kind of sequential targeting to it, I think could be extraordinarily effective.